Let us discuss 3rd September 2015 newspaper. The first article is related to the primary education. If you see the Right to Education Bill, it talks about a Right to Education Act. It talks about the child-centric learning. So there are three components in this child-centric learning. One is admission into age-appropriate class, and next is no detention policy, and the third one is continuous and comprehensive evaluation. These three components were central to the child-centric learning. So what is the basic idea, root idea behind this? The first thing is, unless the child is being provided all the learning environment, necessary activity, he cannot form a conceptual understanding in his mind. And the second thing is, you cannot regimentalize or rigidify education uniformly for all children. It means you shall be able to give education in proportionate to the needs of the children. So it means the education shall be guided by interests of the child, and also the learning shall be an experience that has to be cherished. So it means the learning shall be a continuous process. So in a continuous process, what happens is the knowledge is acquired through understanding. Now if you take in India, the knowledge is made into certain grades, certain compartments, certain classes, and any child who failed to acquire that knowledge, which was considered as an end product, he will be detained or kept in the same class again and again. It means knowledge, instead of seeing it as acquiring through understanding, we are seeing the knowledge as an end product or a ready-made product that has to be taken into the mind of the child. So what is the basis for this thinking? Our education system is built on an authoritative way of learning. So authoritative way of learning, it gave rise to so-called importance to the exams, grades, etc. So no exams, no learning is the philosophy India believes in. So if we want to bring in this child-centric learning, we have to reform the education from its roots in India. The next thing is 1965 war. If you see the circumstances, India has badly suffered in 1962 war. Next, Pandit's death in 1964. So India was its most vulnerable phase in 1965. And Shastri was in his testing times, Prime Minister Shastri. Now in this context, Nehru always feared that India shall not have two hostile fronts. On one side we already had Pakistan. After 1962, on the other side we have the China as a hostile front. The 1965 war, it has made these two hostile fronts a reality to India. And the second thing is, the Pakistan wants to gain in Kashmir by choking India during its vulnerable times. So in these circumstances, what was the Pakistan's plan? It wanted to attack the Western Front and disconnect the Kashmir and raise the infiltration in the Kashmir and agitation in the Kashmir. So the areas on the Western Front it has occupied, it want to bargain it against the Kashmir. So this is what was the original strategy of the Pakistan. Now, 1963, Pakistan made an agreement with China that is called border agreement. Now, as per this, the China is expected to come in support of Pakistan during the war. Now, here lies the India's great diplomatic success. The first thing is, Mr. Swaran Singh, who was the foreign minister, he has vehemently opposed to Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto in the United Nations meetings. So United Nations 1965 war is like a divide. If you take the statement of Natwar Singh. Now what was the divide? Till 1965, the UN was very active in involving with the Indian affairs, especially the Kashmir. After 1965, once India walked out from the UN meeting, From then onwards, this particular involvement of the UN has come down drastically. Just 2 times it has been involved with or made some comments related to the Kashmir. So it means India was able to successfully keep an end to the mistake committed by Nehru through diplomatic effort after 1965. And the second thing is, it has kept the China at bay, or else the China was unable to come in rescue of the Pakistan during the 1965 war against to the expectations of the Pakistan. So though China has sent warnings on Tibet-Sikkim border, so India has able to fight against this by asking for joint inspection. So, which has exposed the China over there that India is doing not something new, but in, something which is against to the China's interests. But however, China just is provocative. So that's why 1965 war and the next the Tashkent agreement. If you can see, these are not just the victory on the battlefield; they are also the victory on the diplomatic front to India. So the Tashkent agreement and Shastri's death. So this Tashkent agreement was the previous question. And next is 69 small oil fields on the block. What is this about? Now previously there were many challenges with regard to oil exploration policy. One is multiple licenses in the same field for gas, oil, shale. So there are multiple licenses in exploring company has to apply for. So one unified licenses will be given by the government now to explore anything. And second, previously it was profit sharing. It means the companies can fudge their accounts to show for greater expenses. So now a solution has come up in this way. Government will be involved with revenue sharing rather than profit sharing, which is cumbersome, one thing, and also which is leading to many disputes between the government and the private companies. And the third thing is government has determined the prices of the gas, etc., which was sold by these companies. Now, governments will not determine the prices, they can sell at the market prices. At whatever the market price they are selling, the government will have a share. So these are the dramatic improvements from the previous oil exploration policies in India. And next is UN Convention Against Corruption. It was suggested to use in the Indian laws or else to bring back the black money from the various tax havens and also the banking havens in the world. So UN Convention Against Corruption. So there was an ardent task which went into this UN Convention. So the important thing in this is the principle of asset recovery. The principle of asset recovery. What does this mean? Now understand, there are two countries involved over here, a scenario. One country is ruled by a dictator whose funds are being, let's take a country A ruled by a dictator who has acquired the illegal funds, and country B, the funds where they are lodged. The country B, this particular dictator might have signed with the bank in that country certain non-disclosure norms. Now it has to violate these norms to declare the name of that individual. Now as he was in the power, he might have done all the things to keep the proofs away from acquiring of, away so that to prove beyond doubt that money was acquired through illegal means. So the essence is, the country A, to prove that the money was acquired through illegal means, was very difficult for it because of no trace of proof may be left by these people in power, and two, because they may not have necessary capabilities, and the laws between the two countries may be different from each other, where in one country which was considered as a corruption may not be the same in the other country. So in this asset recovery, what it says, principle of asset recovery, what it says is, if asset belongs to a particular country, then illegality of acquisition cannot be insisted upon. It means the money belongs to India. So either is it acquired through illegal means or other means? It was not the concern of the country B. Then it was the concern of country A itself. So it means that a proof of illegality of acquisition cannot be insisted upon by the country B to transfer the money which was stocked in the bank accounts by the people from the country A. So it means the asset can be transferred back if the receiving country was the legitimate owner of the property. And the next is, there are other provisions. It provides that if a court has given an order for the confiscation of the property, then country B has to respect that particular court order given by the country A. And also it provides for provisional freezing before the final orders or formal request is issued. So provisional freezing of the accounts can be brought in. And the third thing is, there are some special responsibilities. Any person who is stocking the money in country B, then the country B and the bank concerned has to take up enhanced scrutiny of the accounts. And if the money was deposited by the prominent public functionaries from country B. So these are the various safeguards which are there in the UN Convention Against Corruption, which we can use. One is principle of asset recovery. The second one is procedural safeguards. So that's what is principle of asset recovery. What does that mean? It means that the proof of illegality of acquisition need not be given, and it shall not be insisted by the country where the money was stocked, and only if the receiving country proves that they are the legitimate owner of that property, that is more than sufficient. And the second thing is, the country where the money was stocked, it has to respect the court order for confiscation of the property in the other countries. And two, so it has to verify or enhanced scrutiny has to be conducted on the accounts related to the public functionaries of developing countries or other countries. These are the protections which we can use here. And risky protects in Manipur. Already we have discussed in detail what is inner line permit. If you take the Manipur, there are hilly region and valley region. Valley region was dominated by Meiteis. The hilly region, Kukis, Nagas, etc., all these people dominate. Now, whatever the Manipur People's Bill or Protection of Manipur's People Bill, it is applied only to the valley people, not to the hilly people. So under this, 1951 was taken as an year to define something called who constitutes the population, Manipur population. So this definition do not apply for the hilly regions where the census conducted are not up to the mark, or there is no proper records are maintained, where the people from the neighboring states also entered into Manipur after 1951. So the major challenge over here is, when the government has enacted this, it did not do a proper exercise to consult with the Hill Area Committee and other tribal councils over there. So that's why the clarity over the law was actually missing, which has provided for more real politics rather than the education of the people. So the bill by itself, it has nothing to do to harm the interests of the hilly region. But however, the misunderstanding that has crept in because of the politics of the day, it can be seen as a problem over here. And next is APEC membership. So yes, Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation. So with regard to this, India is expected to come on board. Till China was said to be opposing to this, and India was considered as a missing link, being a major economy in Asia. So Australia is supporting to this. Probably India can become a member in this soon. Already I have discussed death penalty in the 2nd September newspaper. If you can really go through that, that is more than sufficient. I have discussed in detail about the death penalty in the 2nd September newspaper. Thank you very much and all the best.